sa radyo, nakikita sa telebisyon at social media ay patungkol sa COVID-19 na naging sanhi ng pagkamatay ng libo-libong tao, kawalan ng trabaho at bigati at pag-aalinlangan. One of the immediate actions our government made was to extend assistance, be it in the form of cash or relief goods, to the citizenry with special consideration to the informal, low-income, and disadvantaged sectors. President Rodrigo Duterte called on the military, law enforcers, and other uniformed personnel to assist the different government agencies, particularly the Department of Health and the Department of Social Welfare and Development, in carrying out their functions during this pandemic, while at the same time maintaining peace and order in the country. Tragically, a terrorist attack occurred even while the country was suffering under the nationwide lockdown. Leaders of the Abu Sayyaf group, Radulan, Sahiron, and Hatid, Hadjan, Sawadjaan, led an attack against our government troops in Barangay Danag, Patikol, Sulu, killing 12 soldiers and wounding 13 others. In another incident, the military encountered ASG members in Barangay Lati, Patikol, Sulu, where 8 of our soldiers were wounded. On the same day, on Paquibato District, Davao City, the NPA ambushed a unit returning to their detachment after securing the distribution of the Social Amelioration Program assistance to the residents of Barangay Paradise Embak. The military troopers hit a landmine that wounded 2 soldiers. Ang mga terorista mismo ang nagsasamantala ng pandemya sa kanilang lantaran at walang sawang pag-atake sa ating mga kababayan. Mr. Speaker, during the enactment of the Human Security Act of 2007, the milieu of terrorism was different then from the current environment. The Islamic State of Iraq and Levant, also known as the Islamic State of Syria, was non-existent. The government had no record of suicide bombing incidents, nor was there any documented Filipino foreign terrorist fighter. However, this all changed when ISIS gained global prominence in 2014. The Sunni jihadist group has a particularly violent ideology and is notorious for its inhuman attacks and deceitful use of social media to propagate its distorted beliefs. This attracted like-minded people, including Mohammad Reza Kiram, the first Filipino foreign terrorist fighter. He traveled to Syria, joined the ISIS, and appeared in a propaganda video calling on Filipinos and other Southeast Asians who cannot travel to Iraq or Syria to go to the southern Philippines instead and join their fight. Children were among those inspired to become terrorists. The Maute group and the Abu Sayyaf group, which pledged allegiance to the ISIS, laid siege to Marawi in 2017 to establish an ISIS caliphate. Government records show that the siege caused death of 1,655 people, the destruction of over 17 billion worth of properties, and the displacement of more than 300,000 people. The security sector believes that the ISIS continues to radicalize, recruit, and finance terrorism through the internet, in schools, and in the communities. Consequently, the radicalization of local militants and like-minded groups resulted in several ISIS-inspired attacks, including 4 suicide bombings in the country, mostly carried out by foreign terrorist fighters. In June 2019, The first Filipino suicide bomber, Norman Lasuca, bombed the Philippine Army's 1st Brigade Combat Team in Barangay Kahatian, Indanan, Sulu, which killed 5 people and injured 17 others. Do we want to have more Filipino suicide bombers in the country? Our security sector has information that the local terrorist groups had radicalized and trained even our Filipino women as suicide bombers in Sulu and Maguindanao. Mr. Speaker, it has been 13 years since Congress has passed the Human Security Act of 2007, and yet only one case has prospered under the special law. The Global Terrorism Index for 2000 as 9th in the world in terms of the number of terrorism-related incidents, in a list that includes Afghanistan, Iraq, Nigeria, Syria, and Pakistan. My esteemed colleagues, as chairperson of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, it is my duty to sponsor Committee Report number 340 on House Bill number 6875 entitled An Act to Prevent, Prohibit, and Penalize Terrorism, thereby repealing Republic Act number 9372, otherwise known as the Human Security Act of 2007 or the Anti Terrorism Act of 2020. This stronger anti-terrorism law aims to shield our Filipino citizens from the terrorists' brutal and atrocious attacks and to prevent our country from becoming a haven for extremist groups. We have introduced certain provisions that would empower our law enforcers to apprehend the terrorists before they could cause grave harm to the public, and which would ensure that they are convicted. The threat of terrorism in the Philippines is real and is growing rapidly. Terrorists have already infected and radicalized the impressionable minds of our children, as well as that of our women. Let us put an end to the senseless killings and unspeakable attacks. Let us not forget what happened in Marawi and the desolation that the terrorists caused.